I want to congratulate SoFi on finally becoming a bank. They have been pursuing this strategy for many years, and finally that time has come and they got the needed approvals. In this video, I want to show an interview between SoFi CEO Anthony Noto and Jim Cramer that just recently took place, where Anthony Noto discusses this and the future strategy of SoFi. I will then come in and give my comments on SoFi and how.
Let's check in with Anthony Noto, the CEO of SoFi Technologies and an old friend of the show, to get a better read on the situation. Mr. Noto, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's go right to it. First, I don't know, Anthony, if people realize what a big deal this is. I mean, I couldn't just go to the Fed or the government and say, listen, I want to be a bank, right? It doesn't work like that.
No, it's a very arduous process. The bar is really high. You know, the Federal Reserve and the OCC and the FDIC all have a responsibility to protect our banking system, to protect consumers. We think it's critically important to do that as well. We wanted to make sure that we had the right regulatory oversight and the right capabilities to better serve our members. So getting over the bar and being granted the license to open a bank is a huge milestone for us as a company. We'll be able to serve our members much better. Our goal is to be a one-stop shop for all your financial needs, to be there for all the major financial decisions you make and all the days in between. And this license will allow us to do that in an even more differentiated way. SoFi Money will go from an account that we partner with a bank on to our own SoFi checking and savings account. So we'll be able to give a high interest rate on checking, higher than anyone else gives. We'll be able to do that with no fees. We'll be able to provide overdraft protection, the ability to pay with your phone, pay with your card, pay your friends person to person. We would just ask you to do direct deposit with us against that backdrop. And so that's one big differentiator. Okay. And then, of course, as you mentioned, we'll be able to offer more loans at lower interest rates.
But, you know, this sounds too good to be true, Anthony. I mean, I'm making nothing in my checking accounts at a couple of banks. Are you telling me because of this charter, I might be able to go to SoFi and make something on my checking account?
Yes, because we have a lower cost base, because we're a digital company, not with a lot of branches, and because we're built on a modern technology stack in the cloud, we have a lot more we can give back to the consumer. The bank license allows us to fund our costs at about 50% lower, and we're going to use that to give the consumer a highly differentiated interest rate in SoFi checking, about 1%, as long as they do direct deposit with us with all the benefits that I mentioned. And that's actually being funded by our lower cost in funding our loans, since we no longer have to borrow money from big banks to lend to our customers. We can use our own customers' deposits as a result of the banking license.
There's talking of you being able to make literally hundreds of billions of dollars more now that you're not at the mercy of these banks.
Our funding costs will go from about 2 to 3% down to about 1%, whatever we offer in checking. And we want to offer meaningfully higher than anyone else offers relative to the traditional banks that really don't offer a lot of interest in checking. And when they do offer you a higher interest rate, you have to have a minimum balance. Your spending is restricted. We're not going to have a minimum balance or restriction on spending. You can spend where you want, when you want. Just do direct deposit with us and you'll get the high rate, no fees, free overdraft protection, bill pay, et cetera.
All right, now we start seeing some credit numbers from, say, the likes of Bank of America. The number of bad loans has just dropped precipitously. What kind of procedures are you using to be sure that SoFi shareholders are being protected so that you're not lending to people you shouldn't?
Great question. So we have 4 types of loans. We have mortgages, which with the bank license we'll now be able to do in all 50 states instead of just 40 states. We also have unsecured personal loans, and then we refinance student loans, and we give in-school loans. We underwrite to a very high credit standard. We underwrite 680 FICO score and higher, which is called a prime member. We've had great loan performance. Our unsecured personal loans have been right around 7%. Our student loans that we refinance are less than 1% life of loan loss. So we've really had great credit performance. Our team's done a great job of managing that. Right. And this bank license will allow us to actually offer even more attractive rates, which will improve our credit profile even more.
Okay, so we all see SoFi Stadium. Will we start realizing SoFi Stadium is also the name of a bank that offers us better rates than the ones we're currently getting?
That's right, Jim. And the stadium has helped us become more of a household name. It had a large impact, as we talked about in Q3, on the awareness of SoFi. The bank license will only further extend that ability to become a trusted household brand name, which is critical to being a top 5 bank in the country or top 5 financial institution in the country, and that's our goal.
All right, because I like people who perform and who serve for our country. What's it like for you to get this approval? You personally, Anthony Noto.
I will say when the email hit my inbox last night from both the Federal Reserve and the OCC, it was absolutely an emotional moment for me. Where I grew up and how we grew up, it's been an incredible dream come true to be able to lead a great company like SoFi, but then to get the privilege of having a bank license is something I never dreamed of.
Now, you were at Goldman, you went to West Point, you worked at the NFL, you've done this job. I mean, you're kind of ready for pretty much everything. Will you take on the big guys? Can you take on the big guys?
We are absolutely going after the 500 million accounts that are still tied to legacy FDIC banks. We're creating a unique value proposition that is very differentiated in a number of ways. One way it's really differentiated is we want to be your lifelong partner, your lifelong member, be there for every one of the major decisions. We're not going to abandon a product because we can't make money on it. We're going to figure out how to serve you well and make money along the way so that we can have that relationship to help you understand how to refinance a mortgage or buy your first home or start investing in your 20s through SoFi Invest. And we keep driving innovations that others are copying, and they're going to struggle to stay up with us given our modern technology stack and just our culture as a company to out-innovate everyone else and constantly iterate.
I've asked my banks to let me put my Ethereum with them. They don't want it. Can I send my Ethereum to you so I know it's safe?
You have the ability through SoFi Invest to buy 30 different cryptocurrencies on SoFi, and we do that through a partnership with Coinbase and BitGo. And so you can go on SoFi right now and buy more Ethereum if you'd like to do that. And they're a partner of ours that custody the assets, and we provide the ability for you to buy and sell through us in those 30 different coins.
Well, that's what people want to hear. They want to hear everything you just said. I want to congratulate you. I've known you for a very long time. I'm really proud of you. This is really terrific stuff. Anthony Noto, really great to see you. CEO of...
So we really saw here Anthony talking about them becoming a bank, and now he said that this is going to make them a household name where people trust, and also this is going to really reduce their cost, and this ultimately will provide the customers with better interest rates on their in their savings and checkings account, and they are able to provide crypto unlike many banks, and just this is another step in the right direction for SoFi. I gotta say that I am extremely impressed by SoFi and their expansion through the years. I do hold a bit of the stock. However, when it comes to fintech, I hold a few companies. I look at it kind of like a self-made ETF, and this is because it's very hard for me to predict which company will ultimately come out on top, although there will be many of them, and I see them really disrupting the banking industry the way it is. There's just no need for the infrastructure that banks have and the non-technological aspects that the banks still have today. But I still don't see it as a technology that is one of a kind that one company has and then the next can't innovate to create that same kind of platform. And it's more about where individuals will go over the years, and that's what's been very hard for me to predict. However, because I'm extremely impressed by SoFi and their expansion and really working their way to now becoming a bank and incorporating obviously all of their products and now getting rid of that intermediary, I want to continue to look at SoFi more in depth and see if it can actually be a position beyond that kind of ETF look that I have. I will definitely make a video on this. Fintech in general, I'm working on one, but also on SoFi maybe specifically if I see anything that there is to add. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and bye for now.